This is the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550. And now, here's your host, Sarah Mosen.
It's Friday, folks. It's great to be back here again, and always wonderful to have you back here with me, Pat Williams. How are you today?
Sarah, I'm doing great. Thanks for calling. Good to catch up with you.
I know. It's such a wonderful thing to have you back on air. You truly are a remarkable human being, and I have to say that I cannot thank you enough. We have this book coming out together. It's called The Gift Is You with the infinity sign with Xulon Press, which is a part of Salem Media Group. It's coming out in August. Mm-hmm. And can you share a little bit about what you have in the book?
Well, what I've talked about in this book is the importance of a positive attitude. Mm-hmm. We don't have much control over anything in life. Mm-hmm. We can't control the population issues of China,
right,
or the economy of Greece, or
true,
what's going on in any part of the world. And once our kids become 17 years old, we don't have any control there either. Mm-hmm. So we control very little. But the one thing we have total control over, Sarah, is our attitude.
Yes.
And every day we get to pick that attitude. I highly recommend picking a good one. It makes all the difference in the world.
It does.
And so every minute of every day there are areas where we get to choose that attitude of ours. And if we pick a good one, it's going to make a whole lot of difference in our life. It'll make a difference in our jobs and our family relationships, dealing with other people. I think success really is determined by what kind of an attitude we have. And so I'm big on that one, Sarah. I feel very strongly about that.
I couldn't agree with you more. And you really actually started me thinking about something from last year when we were on air together and fulfilling your life's purpose. And my aunt passed away from cancer, and so, this book came into being. She's always been on my mind, and so a significant amount of the proceeds are going towards cancer research. It's near and dear to my heart, as yours as well, Pat. And I think that it's so important to be of service, and certainly it just felt great to be able to have this book in place and have you and you're so very busy. You have a few other books coming out, right, in the summer?
Yeah, at the end of the summer, Sarah, I've got a book coming called Vince Lombardi on leadership. Mm-hmm. I'm bullish on leadership. I speak around the country on that topic and write about it. And so this book really has been a couple of years in the offing, and I'm really pleased it's finished. We really dig in deeply into the great Vince Lombardi and study him as a leader. Mm-hmm. I was able to get to most of his former Packer players and some of his Redskins and many, many people who knew him well. And we study Vince Lombardi as a leader, and there's so many lessons to learn from this NFL legend. And then later, early fall, late summer, I've got another book coming. It's called Extreme Winning, the 12 universal qualities that the extreme winners have in life. And I spend a chapter discussing each one of these 12 qualities. And the good news is they're applicable to all of us if we really want them, if we really want to be a difference maker, if we really want to be a winner. So these are my two books for the end of the year here in 2015, Sarah.
Exciting.
And then there are more coming the year after. So I'm still pounding out books.
I know. Well, you have at least 100, right?
Number 100, by the way, Sarah, will be that book, Extreme Winning.
Wonderful. Wow.
And that'll be book number 100. My first book came out in the fall of 1974.
My.
So if my math is right, that was 41 years ago.
Oh, my.
And I have more in the pipeline as well. So wonderful. I'm still enjoying putting words together.
It's wonderful. It really is. I have to say that you are a doer, and you are always there, kind, helpful, and generous with your time. And I think that it's so important. I always share with our listeners. I mean, we've been with Salem Radio for 8 years, and I've been very blessed with great people like you who've given time to me. And I certainly think that even for folks who are entrepreneurs or just everyday folks who are looking at how to reach their goals, your chapter meant a lot. It was beautifully written and so very true about optimism and your view on life, because you're going to get a lot of no's at the end of the day. It's about turning those no's into yeses, don't you think?
I think it's important, Sarah, to keep an optimistic spirit, an optimistic attitude. Ronald Reagan, the president, said optimism is a choice and one of the most powerful ones we can make. So every day we get to make a choice. I'm going to be an optimistic person, or I'm going to be an optimistic leader. And I would simply argue that optimism trumps pessimism every time.
True.
So that's a wonderful way to go about our life. It's not going through life with in denial or rose-colored glasses on.
Sure.
But optimism is so powerful, and it impacts other people, and life is so much more enjoyable that way, and you're so much more successful. Optimism trumps pessimism every time.
It truly does. And I think that the bottom line is lessons learned from things that may not have been right for you. The timing may have been off. I've always said that you just have to get out of God's way. Sometimes we're trying to hurry through the process. And why I love this book in itself is that it truly is about people that I have met and have had a part of my life for so many years. And the stories and the gift is you with the infinity sign is really about what can happen. And something so ordinary, I look at my life as very ordinary, and the extraordinary people like yourself, Pat, that have come into my life and certainly shared and let me learn and grow from experience and day to day. And we do finances, and certainly I've always said it's a brand new day because of the fact that things can change minute by minute. Just like what you do with, you're an NBA Hall of Famer, you're a pro athlete, you're the co-founder of Orlando Magic, and as a coach in itself, you see how a person changes and shifts as an athlete as well.
Well, change is inevitable, Sarah, and we don't want to fight it. Everything is changing dramatically in this world, faster than it ever has before. And if we're not on the cutting edge of learning, accepting of change that's coming about, learning about it, we're going to be left behind. We're going to be standing on the street corner waving as the parade of life goes by. So it's vitally important that we stay current, be open to change, be lifelong learners and lifelong readers, Sarah. It's so important for people to be successful. They need to really, really focus on reading good books and having a reading schedule, having a reading plan, reading in fields that are of interest to you. And if you'll read an hour a day, at the end of 1 week, you'll have finished a book.
True.
Which most men, by the way, Sarah, never do. They never read another book after they leave high school. But to really keep your brain sharp, to keep that little 2.5, 3-pound muscle in your skull sharp, reading is the best exercise I know, to really develop it.
It's very true. And you also have, how many marathons have you completed?
Well, I ran 58 of them, Sarah. I've officially retired, but I ran 58 marathons between age 55 and 70.
Wow.
Including the Boston Marathon 13 times. So I plowed through them for 15 years.
Wow.
But by the time the last one ended, I had pretty well ground my body to a pulp, and that was it.
Right.
So now I sit on my stationary bike and pedal away for an hour every day.
It's good. I think exercise is great for the body. I love working out, so to me it's a must. As for marathons, I give you a lot of credit. Those are long miles. I myself have done 5Ks, but the marathons are grueling. So it's very, very impressive. I have to say, Pat, I'm extremely grateful to you for taking the time and being on air with me, but also being so kind and generous by sharing, a part of this book with our Salem folks. I feel very blessed and honored, so I thank you for that.
Sarah, thanks a million. I appreciate the call, and always good to catch up with you.
Okay, I'll have you back soon. Take care.
Bye-bye, Sarah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Stay well, folks.
This has been the Mosen Mortgage Program with Sarah Mosen. Mosen Mortgage is licensed in several states for residential and commercial purchases and refinancing. Call 800-662-9550.